Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Happy Sunday. Looking like it's pretty nice out there. A little chilly, but not too bad. This week we're going to go through the numbers and see how we did and take a look at the top 10 items that sold. That way you guys can get an idea of maybe some new stuff to look out for while you're out there. But let's go ahead and get into the numbers. So last week, not this prior week, but the week before was our first week breaking $1,000 in total net profit, which was exciting. So we want to see if we can keep that trend going and moving upwards. The goal is to get to $2,000 in net profits per week by Christmas. But let's see how we did this week. So this week total sales were 62% higher than the last period, which is quite a bit. Total sales were $2,334.71, which gave us a net profit of $1,429.49. That is huge. Almost, getting close to the $1,500 mark. We did have some good pickups, just what I find to be kind of luckier stuff that I stumbled into out there that really helped this week. But nonetheless, we had that. Also had probably about $700 in Poshmark sales, which netted around $400 in profit over there. So overall, great week. Sold 65 items on eBay. That's up 20%. Average sale price per item is $35.92. That's up 35%. I think last week we were around $26 average sale. So a huge increase, which that helped a ton. I think we only sold like 5 more items than last week. So not an incredible amount more sold, but that average sales price really makes a difference. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into the top 10 items that sold this week and how we got to that number. So number one, and if you watched one of my previous videos, you saw me pick these up, but they already sold within a week. It was within a few days. The vintage Y2K Echo Unlimited, the embroidered jeans, like the baggy fit, skater grunge style. Those went for $144.33 with shipping. So that was a great sale. Those are definitely a good brand to be on the lookout for. I think they still make clothing, so you do have to keep an eye out. Make sure it is vintage, like Y2K style. But if it is and it has the embroideries on it, big flashy designs, definitely pick it up. I think I paid $8 for those, but you probably pay up to like $20, $25 would make sense because they move pretty quick. Next up was that PlayStation 2 bundle. I bundled up the console with 4 of the games that were worth maybe like 10, 15 bucks or less. So I put those in there with a controller and a memory card. That went for $122.84 with shipping. That's another one that went quick within a week. So that was a great pickup on that bundle. And here's another one out of that bundle. Silent Hill 2, the complete in-box. It was ex-rental, so it was like a Blockbuster version of it. It had Blockbuster stickers on it, on the disc as well. So it didn't get the same premium as the normal black box would have. So I accepted an offer at $100 and just let it go quick because I wanted to get the cash back in to keep things flowing so I can get more inventory. Typically that game is worth like $150 to $200 if it's not an ex-rental, if it doesn't have stickers, if it's in good condition. But that was a great one. Next up we have HP Page Wide 972. These are, it's just ink. It's ink for a printer that I picked up. And I don't know if I showed you guys, but I got this big commercial grade or like office grade printer from Goodwill. It was $10. The printer itself is worth like $400 used, but about 150 of that probably gets eaten up by shipping. So after eBay's fees and everything, that'll hopefully get me about $200, but that hasn't sold yet. This was just the ink. So it came with a package brand new in the box of black ink and the magenta ink. So this was the black ink. This sold for $76.22 with shipping. So that was a great pickup. It was $10 for the printer and the ink. And yeah, those sold pretty quick. I think I got that 2 weeks ago, so not long. Here's another one from that video game lot I got. Simpsons Hit and Run complete in box. This one was in fantastic condition. It was like mint condition. That went for $68.48 with shipping. I think the offer was around $63. Then we have a pair of Polo Ralph Lauren men's Mohican corduroys. These were brand new with tags. I paid $15 for them. I took an offer at $55 for them. Fairly quick turnaround. It was, I think, about a month I had those, so not too long. Then we had a cool Burr vest. It's a men's zip-up vest, outdoor brown. Cool is a great brand, of course. That one, I also took an offer for $55 on that. It did look like they sell for around $70 because that one was brand new, just without tags, but clearly a brand new vest. So that one was good. That was a fairly quick sale. I want to say I had that for a little over a month. I got that at a Goodwill for $3.99, which was crazy. I couldn't believe it. That Sony VCR DVD combo that we just picked up in the last video, so a couple days ago, that sold already for $58.23 with shipping. So that was awesome. Had no remote, but it was tested. I checked it out. It worked. It was good. And then Evil Dead Rise, I showed you guys this in a haul video. It was a steelbook, brand new. I paid $10 for it at the flea market. It went for $56.37. That sold, I believe, the night I listed it, which was pretty crazy. It was quick, but it had, I think there were 4 listed and there were like 12 sold. So sell-through was huge. I listed a little bit lower than what the other ones out there were, and they were all brand new. So you know, sometimes if you're listing stuff like that and it's something that's a little bit more rare, so if you only see like 5 to 10 items out there and the sell-through is good on it, I would just go slightly below everybody else if it makes sense for your margins, and that way the next person that goes to pick it up is going to get it from you. I mean, if they're all brand new with tags, it just seems like a no-brainer for the buyer to just grab your copy, even if it's only a couple bucks less. So that was what I did there, and it sold overnight. It was really good. And then I guess we'll do 2 here. The last 2 items on the list here are both Levi's. First one, vintage 90s 550s, made in USA, not orange tag. Those went for $49.50. And then a pair of Levi's 505 XX, made in USA. Those are also 90s. Those went for $47.50. So those were the top sales of the week, the biggest ones. I mean, unbelievable how much of this top 10 list I picked up this week. So yeah, I found some really good stuff this week. I think there was a little bit of luck involved there on how our numbers got so boosted, because, you know, the last couple months we've been fighting to get to 1,000. We made it there last week. This week we almost pushed up to 1,500, and if we're including Poshmark and Vinted, we're probably closer to 2,000 in profit. So fantastic week. Let's hope we can keep the upward momentum. It's going to be a tough one to beat next week, I have a feeling, but let's see how we do then. I hope you guys enjoy your Sunday. If you're football fans, hopefully your team wins, and I will see you guys soon.